Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Drunken Cryptid.
Was these two globes. I don't know how to describe them. And I stood up there and looked at them, and it's like...
I just couldn't hold it anymore, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was a chupacabra. I was so excited.
They were referring to Bigfoot.
There are voices in the darkness. The reason why this show is called Drunken Cryptid.
And welcome back to another episode of The Drunken Cryptids. I'm your host, Matthew Wharton. And I do want to give a shout out real quick to Dylan over there at blademedia.com. Dylan, thank you for the graphic. Thank you for the website. You guys, Blade Media did the graphic for us for our logo. And they also built the website. If you want an example of what Blade Media can do, please go check out their website, blademedia.com. That's Blade, B-L-A-Y-E-D, media.com. So go give them a shout out. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate everything you've done. And of course, special shout out to the team. I don't do this by myself. I have a good team that supports me and surrounds me. So I definitely want to give a shout to you guys. As always, I mean, I'm not where I'm at, because of me. It's because of the team that I have around me. So thank you again. Appreciate it. All right. Shows coming up. We do have on January 14th, we are going to be at the Censored Monkey from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Come on out, meet us. We'll have the equipment. We can record some of your encounters. There's some folks started reaching out to us are going to meet us up there. So come out, join us. We'll have a good time. It is a 21 and only establishment, though, so you got to bear that in mind. Sorry, kids. On February 8th, we are going to be at the Paradise Pizza in Ozark, Arkansas. That's from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Again, February 8th, Ozark, Arkansas, Paradise Pizza, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to be doing an open town hall meeting with Todd Neese, good friend of mine. Great guy. You get a chance to come meet him. Ask questions to myself, to Todd. It'll be hosted by the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel, who will also be doing some expeditions that weekend. So if you want more information on that, go ahead, email me again, message me again, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. The big news is April 5th, live show with the Cryptids of the Corn guys. That's right, they're going to come down here to Arkansas. We're going to be at Old Bart's, 600 North Main Street in North Little Rock from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's on April 5th. Tickets are for sale. This is a ticket event, you guys, so limited seating, limited availability. I'll be recording for an hour. They're going to be recording for an hour. I know what Justin and Jay are going to be talking about. I know what I'm going to be talking about. It's going to be a good time, you guys. You get a chance to meet and greet with us, ask us questions. With a live show, we get a chance to kind of show pictures, versus like a radio show, how you just hear us talk, we describe, but we get a chance to show pictures. We'll be sharing everything that we've been doing, what we've been up to. It's going to be a lot of fun. You get a chance to meet and greet with us. Old Bart's is going to have a full menu available, including the Drunken Cryptid Burger, which is an amazing burger. Paul, I love it over there. Thanks, man. That's on April 5th, though. The ticket information is available on the website. It's on our website. It's on the Cryptids of the Corn website, and it's going to be in the description of the show below. So please make sure that if you want to join in, great. Get your tickets before they go because they are selling. If you are coming from out of town, go ahead, message me. I can help you get hotels in the area close by. That way, you know where it's at, and you get a chance to hang out with us. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna visit with you guys. The show's about y'all, so come out, hang out with us, and join in. And of course, you guys, I appreciate all the support. Keep liking, keep sharing. It means a lot to me. Keep commenting. If there's an episode you like, great. Drop a comment. Hey, I love this show. If you don't like it, well, don't comment. I mean, the world's full of trolls. It really is. Not as mean as there used to be. But go ahead, like, comment, share. I appreciate all the 5-star reviews, you guys. I really do. The more comments we get, the more that we get out there in the algorithm, and that helps the show grow, and it can reach some other people who are trying to maybe get some encounters, they feel lost about. So this does help folks out. So the more you like it, the more you share it, the more people get out there. So I appreciate it. But again, if you've had an encounter and you want to talk about it, email me, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. And follow us on all your social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X. We are everywhere. So appreciate it. But now, on to the show. Hey, everybody. All right. Welcome to the show. I got a great guest. He is coming back for his part 2. He had a great part 1. And we're only bringing, well, besides the fact we really like him, but we're bringing him back because he's recently had an encounter. And if it's so having a recent encounter, we definitely want to be able to get as much detail as we can since it's still fresh. So you guys know John, the Myths, Monsters and Mullets show. I love the show, you guys. He was on TikTok. Now he's on YouTube. So please make sure you go and like and follow him on YouTube. That is Myths, Monsters and Mullets. He's got a Facebook page up and running too. And he's in the infancy of getting away from TikTok and getting out there on YouTube. So let's get him some likes and get him some followers out there, you guys. Let's help him on out. John, man, how you doing this morning?
I am just peachy.
Now, it's like really cold up there, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 20 degrees, I think, right now.
Yeah, you can keep that because I'm going to have that 20 degrees down here like in a week from now. So your weather's going to be in my backyard next week. You need to come pick it up.
Nah. We'll have it long. We'll have it all winter long, and yeah, I'll be tired of it here probably in about another month.
Yeah, see, I'm already tired of it, and it hasn't even gotten that. I mean, it'll be the first real cold that we're going to get, but I'm already tired of the cold. I live in Arkansas because generally it's not bad. I mean, yeah, we get snow and ice, but it's generally not too bad at all.
Yeah,
but no, we got cold weather.
We get that. Was it last year, or year before? We had 35 below wind chill. Yeah, that was great.
No, that sounds horrible.
It froze my truck doors. And I actually ended up breaking off both door handles trying to get my doors open.
Really?
Yeah, it made the plastic so brittle. Yeah, it's good times up here in Indiana.
Well, again, I'm from northern Utah, so I understand we get those canyon winds coming out, and man, that same thing, that wind chill drops. Where when I was in 8th grade, this is, obviously you can tell the different generations. I mean, kids today, they're never going to school that day. In Utah, had these strong winds, and they came, and we were in first period, knocked the power out. Okay, I mean, it did. It knocked power out everywhere. I mean, there were signs being tipped over from the strong winds that were coming out, and we were in our classrooms while the emergency lights were on until the batteries went out, and then they moved us into the hallway because we now had the ambient light from the doors and everything. So We're all in the hallway of our junior high. And the only reason why they sent us home is because they could not fix us lunch. That was the only reason we left early. So nowadays, they've been like, power's out 15 minutes. Y'all go home.
Right.
All right. So I know a little bit about the encounter. What happened to you. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to let you run with it and just kind of take everybody step by step of what happened, because what I do know, this is creepy.
Yeah, so my wife and I, we had spent the day Christmas shopping, and since I do have my own show, I try not to give out personal information, but we'll just say it was in West Central Ohio is where we were Christmas shopping, and I live in East Central Indiana. So this was November 30th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And it was about 7:00 at night. So it's already dark. And we were driving down this 2-lane state route. It's pretty well kept. It's got full-size breakdown lanes on both sides, and recently paved, so it's it's nice and clear. My wife was on her phone. She was making like a Walmart pickup order or something, I don't know. And there was a car that was about, it's kind of hard to estimate at night, but I would say 200 to 300 yards in front of me. And if you're from the country, you know that you got to watch for deer this time of year. And one of the ways that you do that is, you're looking at the car in front of you, because if you see something go in between the lights, or, block the lights, or you see the car hit the brakes or swerve or whatever, hey, you need to start watching. And we were in my wife's vehicle, and she has a aftermarket headlights that are LED. So these things are freaking bright. And I didn't think it was going to be hard to tell this thing again.
That's okay. Take your time.
So we're driving along, and the road's clear. And I didn't see like the car in front of me swerve or hit their brakes or anything. So I wasn't looking for anything. But so the road's clear now. Like I said on my show, I don't want to use the word materialize, but 1 minute this thing is not there, or 1 second this thing's not there, and the next second it is. It was about, I would estimate maybe 50 yards, 50 to 75 yards, somewhere around in there in front of me. On the center line, I saw something, and couldn't really tell what it was, but and we're doing like, I don't know, 60 mile an hour probably. So this whole encounter only takes just a few seconds, but it was kind of like time slowed down, because it was scary. So anyway, as I see something, and it kind of turns towards me, and it was the kind of like the upper body of a man, like from the waist up, and it was like kind of like it was walking on its knuckles. So, like kind of like a bulldog, like it was, I don't know how to describe it.
Kind of squat, bowed out.
Yeah,
on his
like
knuckles.
it's right. So its elbows were out a little bit, like a bulldog. And again, this is just a couple weeks ago, so it was 20 degrees that night, in the 20s somewhere. Upper body of a man, no clothes. The skin was like a grayish color. I think I described it as looking like cigarette ash. And at first it had its head like it was looking at something in the opposite lane, so it was like 45 degrees away from me. But it turned its head, and it looked at me, and it didn't have a nose or a mouth. It just had basically like eye sockets, and they were just like black. There was no eye shine from the headlights. There was no, there's nothing. It was just like there were voids. And I'm getting closer because we're doing, like I said, about 60 mile an hour. So it doesn't take long to get to this thing. And it had like its arms and chest were kind of like muscular. I wouldn't say like bodybuilder, but like it was in shape. And as we got up on top of it, it like lunged at the car. And I swerved. And my wife, looks up. And I was like, "Did you see that?" And she's like, "No, I was on my phone." And I just, I got to get out of there. So I'm trying to describe it to her while we're driving. And she's like, "Do you want to go back?" And I'm like, "No, because I don't want to see this thing again." So, but I couldn't see its lower body. And at the time, I wasn't sure if it was like dragging its lower body, and just because of the way it was propped up on its knuckles, that I just couldn't see the lower body. But it kind of looked like this thing was coming out of the ground. Like, I don't know. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's the only way I can describe it, because it was like you couldn't see anything from basically like the belly button down. I don't know if it had a belly button, but about that area, you couldn't see anything from there down. And like I said, I don't know if that was because of the way it was laying on the road, but yeah, I don't know. So I get home and I call our friends from Nevermore Hollows, and because I needed to tell somebody. And they ask if I hit it. And I didn't remember hearing anything or feeling anything. But after I got done talking to them, I went out and I looked at the vehicle, and there are, I don't know if they're still in there or not. There were 4 marks that looked like it brushed the car with its fingers. And I think I already sent you the pictures, but you can post those if you want to. But I measured from fingertip to fingertip of these, so like the forefinger to the little finger, and the little finger and the third finger were pretty close together, but the entire span of it was like 7 or 8 inches. And I know that's not out of the realm of possibilities for a human, but I measured my own, and spreading my fingers apart as far as I could, I could only spread those 4 fingers like 6 inches. And if you see the pictures, it's like the pinky or whatever, I'm imagining, just because I know the way it swiped at the car. Like the pinky was still next to the third finger. So that makes it even bigger if it would have splayed them out. So yeah. And yeah, that's what happened.
I can tell that this, because before we started recording, we were just cracking jokes and laughing and making fun of stuff. And I can definitely tell that this encounter left a strong impact on you.
It was absolutely the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And, I've been in some hairy situations, but this, I never felt fear. like I felt from this thing.
There's an old saying too. Once because you you got involved in. Remember your first episode with us that we're curious. We watch the shows and you kind of wanted to go. You went to the asylum. Had some other crazy encounters as well that we were going to talk about on another episode. But this is more important, I think. Yeah. And there's an old saying is that once you stare into the abyss, sometimes it stares back.
Right.
And with you getting your own show started, everything that you've taken place, I think Alan, from Nevermore Hollows actually made the comment about it. You're going to get challenged.
Right.
But I've got a sheet full of questions here. Holy cow. And if you're uncomfortable with any of them, just let me know. That's not a problem at all. I understand. And knowing you off the show and hearing your voice now, I can tell this dramatically affected you.
Absolutely, it did.
When I had my encounter in 2002, it was the same way. It stays. It gets better.
Yeah.
But it's a PTSD thing. And a lot of folks don't realize that. But okay, so all right, so you were driving, scanning out for deer, and you said it just popped up. It didn't cross the road. It was just there in your headlights all of a sudden.
Yeah, I 1 second it was not there, and the next second it was. And I don't when I think of the word materialize, I think of Star Trek, whatever. But it just it blinked into existence.
It's crazy. Okay, so it didn't walk out or anything then.
No.
Okay, so you also described it as being grayish in color, cigarette ash gray.
Right.
Was there any other? Did you see any hair or anything at all? Was it bald?
Yeah, it didn't have any hair on it. I didn't see any ears. I don't know if I just didn't. That was one of the things that I was so focused on the eyes. The eyes or the lack thereof. That's what stood out to me the most was just, the center of the face. There was no nose, no mouth, and these just glaring eye sockets. It was
on the eyes. Let me ask you a question about the eyes real quick. So were the eyes larger, abnormally large for the face?
That's a good. If you look at if you ever seen somebody who's really sick and their eyes are sunk into their head,
yeah,
you can see the socket, the bone, or on a skull. It was that size. Bigger than what eyeballs would be, but the eye socket, it was proportional. It was proportional to the head.
All right. Now here's a bigger one for you. Okay, so the wife is on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You're driving. Any missing time? You know what I mean?
I know what time we got home. I don't know. I can't answer that because like I said, we were shopping all day, so we weren't really paying attention to the time. That's a good question. I don't know. I honestly,
it's something to look into. She was placing an order maybe for a Walmart pickup or something, because
oh yeah, I could look at that.
Yeah,
see what time I called Chris and Alan, because I know how long it would have taken me to get home.
Yeah, because you posted it into our little group chat too. We could look into that. Because what just triggered me was when you were talking about you were focused on the eyes, and you said there was no nose and no mouth. It was just kind of like a face with eyes. And I just had a Billy Idol song pop into my head, but
eyes
without a face. Yep. So a lot of abductees, UFO abductees, describe, like an owl,
And
stuff
dude,
like
I never
that.
even thought of that. I wasn't even thinking UFO or alien. I don't know.
And because
Yeah, I
what gets me kind of, because when you're describing it and you said it just blinked into existence, there was no eyes. I mean, there's black eyes. There's no eye shine to it at all. And I had written portal at one point, maybe come because you said it's just like coming out of the ground.
right.
You couldn't see the lower body, and that could be due, obviously, as you know how driving on the road at night, if
Hmm.
the only light is due to the headlights, and shadows play a lot in it, and if
Right.
it was happened to be positioned just right to where you couldn't see, and that does happen. And then, but it lunged at your vehicle,
Hmm.
and I'll go back to that one though. But let's do some brainstorming here on if we can. I mean, were you listening to a song on the radio? I mean, was it quiet in the vehicle?
Um, we had been like before she was asking me what we needed from Walmart, so I had the radio off. Um, so yeah, I mean it was quiet in there other than her asking me what we needed from Walmart.
Okay, so 'cause the only reason I'm asking on that one because that could help play into it as well. Because a lot of times, like everybody says, music can bring back a memory. So if you could remember what was playing or what you were playing at the
Yeah,
time, like I have playlists on my phone. Like when I'm driving the
right.
Jeep, I play them. So
Yeah, no, we had the radio off because she was making that list for for Walmart. So she was asking me, what about this? What about that? So yeah, I had the radio off at that time.
okay. So you guys had not been grocery shopping that day, though.
No,
Okay.
no.
So there was no like extra food or anything like that, any fertilizers or anything inside the vehicle.
Oh no, no, it was just Christmas gifts.
Okay, I don't think you're gifting anybody fertilizer. I don't know. It's
No.
Indiana. That's an Arkansas, Utah
Meth
joke.
capital of the world.
All right. Okay, so no nose, no mouth, the eyes. Okay, there was no eye shine with them at all whatsoever. And when you said it lunged at you, I mean, you said first off it was kind of at a 45-degree angle, like it was looking away and towards something behind you. You said the other lane.
Like so, it's on the center line, and its body is kind of facing towards me, but its head was facing like it was looking off to its right, like
Okay.
towards the other lane. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So this road though, is it heavily wooded? Is it open? Is it farmland? I
It's
mean,
farmland. It's farmland.
okay. Do you know what they're growing out there?
Um, Actually, all the crops are pretty much off at this time.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of corn and soybeans is what this area grows.
Okay. Making a note of that. I don't know. They could be something too. I don't know. It's just everything I'm writing down. Can't see the lower. Oh, say you said, but it turned its head towards you at one point and stared.
Yeah. And when
And
it turned its head towards me, that's when I saw the no mouth, no eyes, and or no mouth, no nose, and the eye sockets.
that's crazy. And I'm assuming it just stared at you.
Yeah, like I said, I'm doing 60 mile an hour, so 50 yards doesn't take long to.
No.
But if you've ever had something run out in front of you, time does slow down. Like you see everything, and that's the feeling I got was it's one of those situations. Hey, I'm about to hit something, so you're in that reactionary mode. So time does kind of slow down, and yeah.
Okay. Let's
So
talk.
I mean, literally, it probably took the whole encounter maybe took 3 seconds, but in my mind, it took a lot longer.
Well, most encounters are just real brief like that, and that's if someone's never had an encounter before. My favorite question all the time, and you've heard this one too, is you see something in the woods, want to get a picture of it. I mean, most encounters are generally between 3 and 10 seconds. It's that quick.
Right. Right.
I know that what I saw this year. I mean, I was trying to figure out what it was I was looking at. And the thought process of trying to get my phone out to take a picture was it was 75 yards away anyway. So,
right.
Lots of zooming. But you're absolutely right, though. And when it popped up, your adrenaline probably immediately jumped up because you are driving. You were already scanning for deer. So you're already, situational awareness is already there. But when you said it lunged, was it this right hand, this left hand that lunged, that took a swipe at the car?
It was its left hand. Because it like I said, it was on its knuckles. So I never saw its fingers. I can't tell you if they were long, if the only reason I know it has fingers is because it left marks. But so it's on its knuckles. It took, I'll call it a step, with its right hand, and then pulled itself forward, and I saw its arm come up like it was getting ready to hit the car.
And you swerved.
And I swerved, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying. I remember that part. Yeah, I'm baffled. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, the eye thing you're describing kind of makes me curious about, if there is any missing time from that evening. And it doesn't have to be a long time. A lot of people think, missing time is going to be like, yeah, we left this place at 8 and we got home at 1:00 in the morning. No, I mean, missing time, it can be just as quick as 15 minutes. It can be just as quick as 30 minutes.
Right.
I know that Eric from Uncomfortable, he saw something in the sky when he was traveling down to be interviewed on the confessionals. Look, we're giving a whole bunch of podcast shout outs. And he had missing time during the day of traveling down to where I want to say he arrived sooner than he should have.
Oh, really?
If that makes sense. Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of curious if there is any missing time.
My only thing with that is I know she wasn't done with that order. So she wouldn't have submitted it yet because she was in the middle of asking me about stuff. I'd have to see if there's any other way I can figure out what time.
Yeah, because the only thing I can look at is I can look at the time that you sent the messages in the group about it.
Well, the first message I sent, I'd have to look. It was to Alan, so I'd have to look and see what time I sent that message to him, and then I started sending it in the group because I wasn't thinking straight. I was meaning to send it in the group text, but I sent it to Alan instead.
No, that happens completely. Oh, I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that's why I keep coming with some of the missing time stuff. I don't have anything else on that one at all. Man.
Yeah. So.
All right.
I don't know. Like when I first described it to Alan, the thing that the only thing that was close that I could think of was like a rake, but it wasn't a rake because it doesn't match the descriptions that people say of the rake. But that was the first thing, just because of the light skin, the gray skin, and the no clothes and stuff like that. But I don't think this was a rake.
Well, what do you think it was? I mean, if not a rake, I mean, I'm not a firm believer in the rake. I'm really not, but I do think that things can manifest themselves into an image of its own choosing.
Right.
I think like Slender Man may be real now. And I think the rake may be real now too, though. But I think it's been manifested into existence, if that makes sense.
Right. Right. No, I honestly, I don't know. And that's the reason, I struggled with whether I was going to do an episode about this encounter on my show, whether I was going to tell it during my live, and I did. And then even after that, I struggled with whether I was going to air it as an episode on its own. And after I finally decided to do it, um, I titled it The Thing because I don't know what this thing was. You know, the only reason I say rake like is because of the pale body, the no clothes, things like that. But I don't think it was a rake. It was
Well, you also describe as muscular.
right. It wasn't emaciated or anything like that. It was. I mean, it looked like a guy that is in shape, but not a bodybuilder. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so
Fit.
pretty toned.
Yeah,
Okay.
fit. Unlike me.
Unlike me, don't feel bad. I'm the same way.
So,
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, since the text message and we talked briefly as well. Both my schedule's been crazy, so I do apologize.
yeah.
But I wanted to wait for us to be able to discuss this, on the show. To be honest with you, to share it with the audience. You couldn't see the lower half. It looked like it was coming out of the ground, and how it just flashed into existence, focusing on the eyes. I mean, some of this leads to actually an abduction encounter.
Yeah.
And then the other part of me, I'm like, okay, did a portal just appear? Was it coming out of a portal?
Well, so there's some debate on whether I don't know. There's not debate. That's not the right word I'm looking for. There's some belief that Native American burial grounds were described as portals by the Native Americans. And after this happened, I started looking into the area. And right next to, I would say within a quarter mile, tenth of a mile, there's I won't give the name. Like I said, I'm not giving out personal information, but there's a very old cemetery there. And first thing I'm going to look up, what's the deal with this cemetery? So I start researching into it, and the County Historical Society, they don't have a lot of information on it because this cemetery was from the 1800s. And they're actually have been for years trying to, asking the public, do we know who these people are? Because you can't read the headstones. Some of the newer ones you can, but the ones from the 1800s, you can't even read them. Don't know who's buried there. But the most interesting thing was I found out that within, I think the farthest one would be maybe 10 miles. There's 3 Native American burial grounds that have been discovered in that area. And one of them has a cemetery, like an English cemetery, on top of it. So, and I know that, when white people came over here, they basically, okay, that's where the natives are burying their people. We're going to bury our people right on top of them. And could it be? I don't know. Could it be that this little cemetery that's right there is on top of a Native American burial ground? I don't know. That's all speculation. But one of the cool things I did find out about the one burial mound, they found an oversized skeleton, human skeleton, in the mound, and it was holding the shriveled remains of a child. Yeah. So there's some weird history from this area.
You know what's funny is that one, everywhere in America, there's weird history.
Oh yeah.
And it's, most people don't realize it's just like right outside their door.
Yeah.
Like for me, I've got mounds that are 20 minutes away from me. And
all up and down the Mississippi, there's mounds in Ohio River Valley, and yeah.
Exactly. And, most people don't realize that, just how close everything is and the history that, our history is, so man is famous for when they move in and conquer an area, all throughout history. Doesn't matter, what you want to believe, 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, 300 years ago, whatever. They're going to generally build on the same spot somebody else has already built.
Yep.
I mean, it's, they're going to congregate the same spot where, there was somebody already there. And that's why, like in South America, when they're finding some of these lost temples, these lost pyramids and such, I think those were already, evicted, if you want to, or not evicted, deserted before the Spaniards got there.
Yeah.
Because they sure would have set up camp there.
Right.
So.
Right.
So it goes a little bit further back, I think. But, that's what man's famous for doing. And
there's a reason people build towns or cities, because they have the resources they need. They have water, they have food, hunting, whatever. So the settlers come in. Hey, this is already established. This is a good hunting area. There's a fresh water supply, good fertile ground. We're going to take this for ourselves. So, yeah.
That's how it's been through history. So I know that and then of course we just expand from the basis there. Like, North Little Rock has got a really good history of a lot of huntings and weird stuff. Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I even had a guy telling me that he had a Sasquatch sighting near one of the homeless camps in Little Rock. So
I mean, I don't. I mean, there's reports of stuff in town, well, in the suburbs of Indianapolis, dogman encounters. I talk about Indianapolis because I live in Indiana. And I talk about Indiana, Ohio a lot on my show, but yeah, I mean, there's a dogman encounter in Defiance, Ohio. It's inside city limits, I don't think that it's just we encroach, and these creatures are, they're curious about us as much as we're curious about them. So they're going to come in and check us out.
Yeah. I think what you encountered though, and this is just my opinion though, but this is sounding more and more. I mean, as I'm mulling this over my head, it has a lot of abduction vibes to it.
Yeah.
Especially the eyes.
I really considered that.
And we can get religious too, though. Lilith is, represented as an owl. A lot of abductees will say they saw an owl, and what makes them think of an owl is the large eyes.
Right. I don't, but they weren't like cartoonishly big. They looked like a skull, like sunken in eyes, just black. Like there was no skin in there. It was just like there was nothing there.
Something about all that, yeah. Just one, that's creepy encounter, but two, it's, of course I could be wrong. I mean, the world is, a crazy, strange, magical place. But that's why I'm real curious as if we could, try and go back that day, retrace a lot of steps, a lot of time. And you called Alan as soon as you got home.
Right. Right. Because I was like, I got to tell somebody that one's going to believe me, and I need somebody to calm me down, And if you've listened to Alan talk, he has a very calming tone.
He does, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He does. I love Alan.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So if you haven't listened to Nevermore Hollows, you need to listen to Nevermore Hollows. I'm talking to your fans.
Yeah, I think they've heard me mention him all the time. I can't. You can't. I mean, Nevermore Hollows again is one of those shows out there that it just grabbed me, and it pulled me in. And I'm not gonna lie, I was fully honored that they did an episode with the Drunken Cryptids.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And put in the story. As I told Chris, I said there's a little things about me, but which is fine because it's Alan's story,
Right.
and it's Alan's world, and it's how Alan put me in there, and absolutely love it.
Yep.
So I'm so ready for the next episode to drop. I'm always anxiously waiting for it to drop. And I told you though, when you start listening to it though, you're going to be like, I need more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can binge listen to it for weeks, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is great.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And I can't believe, like, honestly, I don't understand why he doesn't have more followers, because this show is freaking phenomenal.
he's getting more slowly but surely. He's gaining more. As he should. It's like I told him too. I fully believe that this should be a TV series.
It absolutely
like
could.
On Max
absolutely
or Amazon.
Could.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because it's not a new concept, but it is.
The way he does it, the way he tells the story.
Yeah, you could actually see people walking into Juanita's. You could actually see people, that going to the trailer park. You can see,
Right.
everything that happens in that story. Like, we're talking about your encounter. We're bragging about Alan's show. So, but everybody go give Nevermore Hollows a follow and listen. Please make sure you like and share them. They're a great show. Okay, so you said you did research though.
Yeah, and I pretty much, I already went through everything that I've found so far.
Yeah.
It's
Nothing
been,
new.
What, about 2 weeks, since this happened. So I'm still digging into it a little bit, but yeah, like I thought maybe, okay, I'm thinking ghost, let me try to find something out about this cemetery. Maybe I can look into somebody that's buried there. There's not even freaking records of it because the cemetery is so old. The Historical Society doesn't even know who's buried there. So, that kind of went into a dead end. And then I went the Native American route, and that's when I discovered that there's been 3 confirmed burial mounds within 10 miles of this place. And, man, I'm trying not to give out too much information.
Well, then don't.
There was a major Native American English battle in the 1700s within 15 miles of where this happened. But this whole area was the battlefront between the English and Native Americans. So I don't know if it could, maybe it had. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm not saying that this has something to do with Native American spirits or anything like that, but it's one of the things that I'm looking into because it's so bizarre. It's not something that you hear about, this thing that I saw.
Well, I'm going to say that it's not anything spiritual because the fact of the matter that it scratched your car.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. But
let's be honest.
But I do know
something physical.
Know that
there was something physical there in the middle of the road. As you drove past it, reached out.
Right. But at the same time, I do know that spirits or ghosts, whatever you want to call them, they can manipulate our realm because, I mean, if you listen to the other interview that I did on your show, I had a rock thrown at me, and that's the other thing, dude. That's only what, it's 20 minutes from there. So that where I had the rock thrown at me, that's probably 10 minutes, a 10-minute drive from where this encounter happened. This whole area that I live in is bizarre.
I got to come and visit.
Have you ever listened to Tinfoil Tales?
Actually, they just started popping up on my suggestions and news feed. So I have. It's a new show. Actually, he was interviewed, I think, by.
Tony.
Yep, he was. Yeah, that's where I heard him at.
Yeah, I've heard him on other podcasts, but it was before he started his podcast, I believe. I've been talking to him because.
Yeah, I'd like to interview him, actually.
Yeah, I can shoot you his information.
Yeah, see, if you,
I'm gonna be on his show. I'm interviewing with him in January.
Sweet.
But
I'll listen to that one.
He's like deep diving into. He's not far from me, actually. He's only an hour drive. If you've ever listened to the Confessionals, I will mention the Confessionals on my show. I don't care. I love that show.
I love Tony. I absolutely love Tony. I've never had a chance to meet him. I would love to. His story of how he started and got where he's at now is absolutely amazing. Joel with Food the Rabbits. I'm a fan of Joel as well. You know,
yeah,
so
I met both of them up there at Ada, and great guys.
Yeah, because me and Joel have a lot in common, it sounds like. So I'd love to spend hours just me and him going over the whole, the Nephilim and the Dogman and everything, to where we're on the same page, which is crazy.
Right.
Kind of like I got lucky with Todd Neese. Me and Todd, without knowing each other at the time, were on the same page of the infrasound.
Yeah.
I had a guy who was on the show, and he would fully believe that he could sense Bigfoot. And as I was listening, we were talking on the show. That's the sense of Biggie. But we're on the show, it sounded more and more like he was more sensitive than maybe the infrasound the Sasquatch is putting off.
Right.
And I've been going digging down that rabbit hole as well. Then had the interview with Todd Neese, and we got into the infrasound. I was like, I've been screaming this for a long time. So it's nice to have somebody, to validate it all. And so to have somebody like Joel validate a lot of the stuff that I've been saying already is, to me, it's like, a fist bump. Right. So, but tinfoil, sorry, see, you and me going on different.
Yeah, I know. This is how my show goes all the time. But yeah, Tinfoil Tales. He's from Peru, Indiana. And if you've listened to the Confessionals, a lot of weird crap happens there. The headwaters of the Mississippi River, that river starts right where I had my encounter, and it feeds into the Wabash River. And all that stuff comes together right up by Peru. And there's a lot of weird stuff. That's how I got in touch with Brandon. Is that his name? Yeah, from Tinfoil Tales. Because I was looking into this. I was told a story about the white wolf of the Wabash. And then I heard him on the Confessionals. I'm like, but maybe he's heard of this thing. And then come to find out, he's got a whole series of stuff that he's doing on basically the Native American, the weirdness from the Wabash River. And yeah, that's another one I would check out. Tell your listeners.
Yeah,
and Myths, Monsters, and Mullets.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was in with that one. I always say the best for last. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah, it's a little bit shorter episode of what we normally do, but I do think that with what took place, I would look in. I would dig into the whole entire missing time.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know. I honestly I have no idea what could have happened. I have, I will tell you it was a physical thing. Yeah, they say spirits, the scratching, the rock stone, stuff like that. But this isn't just a scratch on your arm. You know what I
Right.
mean? This is a scratch on your vehicle, and I remember that I have the pictures, and I'm probably posting when I air the episode.
And that's fine. I posted them on mine too because there. I mean, it left physical proof of that what happened to me. And I told my wife, like I come, I got off the phone with Chris and Alan, and I went outside because I needed a cigarette. I'm not gonna lie. And while I was out there, I went out and I looked at the front fender and I didn't see anything. And I walked down the driver's side with my flashlight on. And I saw those marks and I took those pictures real quick. And I come back in the house and my wife looks at me and she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "It touched the car." And she goes, "What do you mean?" And I took her outside, and my wife, she's amazing. She allows me, I shouldn't say allows, she puts up with me doing, these silly videos that I do, and she puts up with me having this paranormal show. But she's not like this, she's not as much of a believer as I am, let's put it that way. But she had to she had to come to the realization when she saw those marks that there's stuff out there. And she helps me out with my show, my live show, and she's in the same room, and she monitors the comments, she listens to the show. And I've noticed since this happened, like, she's more interested in it now. Like there was a paradigm shift, I think, with her, because before it was all just stories she heard, but now she sees evidence of it. And yeah, I think that she's coming around, I guess is the best way to put it.
Encounters can do that, and being
Yeah.
exposed to it can as well.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like you got a great wife. It really does. That she's supporting you, in your journey, and two, when you do what we do, and you do the interviews and do the live shows and you do all of that, I also go on expeditions as well and do some ghost hunting. I'd rather go looking for Sasquatch, but I will go on a ghost hunt because those are fun to me. But you get exposed to a world that you did not know existed before.
Right.
And it's been there all along, and a lot of people don't realize it. And when they look back in their life is when they go, "Oh, well, yeah. Oh, well, oh, wow. Yeah."
Right. That's exactly what
there.
happened to me. I had the paranormal experience at the infirmary. Made me think, what else is out there? And then I went down the Bigfoot rabbit hole and realized that, yeah, I had what probably could possibly be Bigfoot encounters when I was younger. So, but I just passed them off as, okay, that was weird, But after hearing everybody's encounters and what they're describing, it's like, well, yeah, that happened to me. So, yeah, I get it.
It's definitely out there. It is.
Yeah.
Well, John, I want to say thanks for coming on and sharing your encounter. It was a very emotional encounter for you, and you can definitely tell and hear it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When you started it, knowing you as I as I do, and I like to be able to call you one of my friends, and hearing you go through that, it was hard on me as well.
Yeah.
And because, if anybody out there's, paid attention to Myths, Monsters and Mullets and, checked out his live, I mean, John's a pretty upbeat, outgoing, laughing, goofing off kind of guy. And, I believe you. I'll throw that out there in public. I believe you 100%. You encountered something that night, and I'm still thinking, the way you were focused with the eyes. But again, what gets me is the scratches on the car.
Right.
That's what kind of takes the abduction theory out as well. Which is, and I'm going to come on your show and go into my AHA story.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to the AHA story, and I think you've heard it before. Mm-hmm. It has, elements of a whole bunch of cryptids.
Right.
And that's what drove me nuts about it, because it didn't make sense.
It doesn't fit into one thing. That's what is bugging me about what happened to me, is it doesn't fit into something. If it had been Bigfoot, or if it had been a dog man, if it had been, something that other people have experienced, I probably would have been okay with it. Hey, I just saw Bigfoot. This is something that, and I wasn't prepared for, because it's something that I have never heard of before. It was the thing. That's the only thing I can call it, because I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think we'll stick with the thing.
Yeah.
I like that, the thing. I mean, there's nothing else for it. I mean, yeah, we got a strange cryptid in Bald Knob that we're researching as soon as deer season's over. The closest thing I can find to what it could be is a Nalusa.
Right.
So other than that, I have no idea. And the funny thing is, though, is that I have another group that's researching in the area that, near the area that we are, and they had an encounter with same thing.
Wow.
So there's something there, and we're actually going to join forces after deer season and link up and do a bunch of digging in and research, and see if you were close, you'd be able to go do this with us.
I know. Or if I hit that lot, did anybody win the lottery last night?
I don't know. I keep saying I'm going to win the lottery, but I have to play it, and I just the odds are better for me to getting a better job. We're not going to talk about it on the air, though.
We have a pool at work, and I'm hoping I don't mind splitting it with the 20 guys at work. It's fine.
If I win the lottery, I'll be honest with you. All my friends will be good. Everybody be good. I mean, I'm just that kind of guy. I'm going to be like, hey, and you're good. I'm going to
be like, Matthew who? No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, I'll be honest with you. So if I was to win the lottery, I can tell you right now, I would probably travel around every elementary school and pay off every lunch debt.
Yeah.
Just to do that. Or I'd want to walk into a restaurant. You know what I mean?
Just buy
everybody's food that's already in there.
Right.
Like that. Put it all on me. You know what I mean? Just I don't know. Just weird random acts of kindness. I think I think that'd be fun. But I wouldn't want credit for it. You know what I mean?
Well, everybody's gonna know it now. See?
Yeah, I would just like I just want to see the reaction. Like, no, your meal's been paid for. What? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, who knows? You'd be somebody, that finally got enough money to go on a date night, and a couple that's, that's what I think of. Just kind of one of those random acts of kindness things. So, but, all right, John, well, do me a favor real quick. Plug your show for me. Let's get your show plugged in. I want everybody to be able to go and find you. So tell everybody right now where you're at.
So the easiest way to find me is Myths, Monsters, and Mullets on Facebook or YouTube. Also on Spotify. I'm just like Matthew said, I'm just getting started in this whole podcasting thing. So the only podcast player you can find me right now is Spotify. If you're on TikTok, you can follow my screen name as john.c.h.methancamp. If you don't want to remember all that, go to the YouTube channel. You can click on the link there, and it'll take you to my TikTok. And I do live streams every Sunday and Monday at 7 p.m. where if you've got a paranormal encounter you'd like to share, you leave a comment, and we'll put you on the show.
How cool is that? I like the live part of what you're doing over there, which is really neat. I would come on tomorrow, but Steelers are playing at 3:30. And we know how that goes for Matthew.
Yeah.
Like Sundays. So Sundays are like my one day when the Steelers are on. I get a chance to just unwind. You know what I mean?
Right.
And today's the Army Navy game. Go Army. Podcast on trial when this episode airs, both games will be done over with. But Pittsburgh's playing the Eagles tomorrow in Philadelphia, and the Steelers have not won in Philadelphia since 1965. However, Russell Wilson is undefeated against the Eagles. So tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
All I gotta say is my Rams are 7-2 since their bye week. So,
oh no, Rams. Yeah, there's a lot of quiet teams that are coming in. You
right.
know, I thought about kind of doing like maybe a weird little football paranormal episode at at the end of the season, and before the playoffs start or something like that, and have everybody get their predictions in. Between you, me, Nevermore Hollows, Eric from Uncomfortable. Get all of our picks in, and see what happens.
Right.
So something kind of fun and weird to do. So
right.
All right. Well, John, man, I appreciate you. I know it's a Saturday morning. Thank you for coming on the show. Do me a favor though. Keep me up to speed on what's going on. Well, I know you will offline, but I want to know what's going on. Any more research you find and everything. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on, and we'll get a time set up for me to come on so I can record for your audience there to hear the AHA story.
Right, and we don't even have to do it on live. We could set up something to do private, or if you want to come in on Monday night.
Well, I am interviewing somebody on Monday that was stationed in Germany that had some really weird encounters out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I probably private would be better.
Okay, we'll figure out something.
Live. Yeah, we'll get something going. That way we can have a full-blown discussion. So, but all right, brother Ben, thanks for coming on. And so everybody out there, again, if you've had an encounter, you want to come on the show and you want to talk about it, email me, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to sit down and discuss it with you. Keep liking and sharing this, you guys. I appreciate all the love out there. Yes, I do. And I can't give a prediction on the mullet because the episode is airing before the Gauntlet contest. So I can't tell you. So the next show after that, y'all will know whether or not I have to get a mullet. And John is excited to get the mullet.
I am, because, everybody should have a mullet.
If I come up there.
For your listeners who haven't listened to my show, the reason it's called Myths, Monsters, and Mullets is because I had a character that I play on my TikTok that was completely comedy for years. And then I started doing this paranormal thing. But my character wears a fake mullet off of Temu or Amazon. And I started doing my paranormal lives, and I couldn't get anybody to stay in unless I'm wearing my mullet.
It's because you look damn sexy in the mullet.
I know. I do.
You do. You look damn sexy in it. And I love the show. It's a lot of fun to watch you on TikTok. I'm not going to lie. I get a kick out of it. All right. So until next time, everybody, y'all stay safe out there, and Merry Christmas.
I can do anything that I want. I can do anything that I want now. I can do anything that I want. Hey, hey, if it is to be, you know that it's up to me. I'm headed to the front. I can be anything that I want. I can be anything that I want now. I can be anything that I want. 'Cause I'm the king of the world. You can't deny it. Gonna carry it all into my world. I'm the king of the world. Don't try to fight it. Gonna carry it all into my world. I'm the king of the world. I'm the king of the world. I can do anything that I want. I can do anything that I want now. I can do anything that I want. Hey, 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 if it is to be. You know when it's up to me, I'm headed to the front. 'Cause I'm the king of the